Nintendo has created so many brilliant franchises over the years, but there's one that seems to get no attention. That of course is Earthbound. Even with a huge cult following, Nintendo doesn't seem to want anything to do with re-releasing these games or creating a brand new one. But is there a reason for this? So hey, I'm the Gamer from Mars, and I'm going to try to discover what happened to Earthbound. Earthbound was released in 1995 in North America for the Super Nintendo. Created by Ape and HAL Laboratories, you play as Ness, a boy who must defeat the evil alien Gygus. What makes this game so unique is that it doesn't take itself too seriously, as opposed to most RPGs that have a super serious plot. There are tons of pop culture references to discover in Earthbound, along with some weird and hilarious dialogue. You'll want to talk to everyone just to see what they have to say. The thing that I enjoyed the most about Earthbound is the fact that the turn-based battles were actually fun. I have to confess that most turn-based RPGs bore me, but Earthbound keeps it interesting. My favorite feature is that if your chances of winning a fight are close to 100%, they'll just give you the experience and not make you battle. This alone makes backtracking a breeze. While Earthbound is now considered one of the best games on the Super Nintendo, at the time it sold horribly in the US. Although I'm not sure what Nintendo expected to happen when they advertised that the game stunk and forced people to buy the strategy guide with it. Regardless of why it failed, North America never saw an Earthbound game again, but in Japan, Earthbound, or Mother as it's known there, was a huge success. In Japan, 3 games were in the series: Mother 1 for the NES, Mother 2, otherwise known as Earthbound on the Super Nintendo, and Mother 3 for the Game Boy Advance. In recent years, Earthbound fans have harassed Nintendo without mercy to bring these games to the US through the Virtual Console. Even with petitions, pleas, and letters, Nintendo still hasn't brought any of these games to the US through download. If you see a conversation online about why Nintendo won't re-release these games, you'll usually be told that Nintendo is simply stupid. While there may be some truth to this, I think I have more reasonable explanations. Let's start off with the original Mother for the Nintendo Entertainment System. The interesting thing about this game is that Nintendo already had it translated, but since the Super Nintendo was around the corner, it was never brought to the US. Years later, a demo cartridge of this translated version was found and leaked onto the internet with the name Earthbound Zero. So fans may ask, why doesn't Nintendo just take the translated version and release it? Well, I doubt this, because I don't think Nintendo would be game on using a 20-year-old translation that was never actually released. Proceeding on to Earthbound. The biggest reason it can't be on the Virtual Console is the amount of blatant pop culture references in the game, mainly music. The developers openly admit that they based a lot of the music from other songs. Here's just one of many examples. There are also a few sprites in the game that would need to be changed as well. Take for instance Dolly's clock. I wonder where they got that from. Finally, we're at Mother 3. The biggest problem going against this one is that Nintendo never had a translation made, so they would have to pay a team of people to translate a text-heavy RPG. And I don't want to hear the argument that they could just use a fan translation. Nintendo is a multi-million-dollar company. They're not just going to use some translation they found on the internet. The other huge thing is that Nintendo would have to hire lawyers to find all the problems and legal issues in the game, and then hire programmers to go in and fix everything that could get Nintendo sued. At the end of the day, all these games have the same problem: profitability. Nintendo created the Virtual Console so they could re-release old games with very little effort and profit off them. But the Earthbound games require a legal programming and translation team just to be released at the low price point Virtual Console games go for. I really do hate to be so negative, but the chances that these games will ever make it to the Virtual Console are slim to none. I will say that if they made a Mother 4, it would probably come to North America, but unfortunately, in an interview with Shigesato Itoi, the man who created Earthbound, he stated that he had no interest in making a 4th Mother game. So I was planning on ending this video on a complete negative note, But then halfway through making it, Shigashato tweeted that he was working on making Mother playable. So what does this mean? Well, since he stated it isn't Mother 4, it may mean that they're working on remaking one if not all of the Mother games. So we might see all 3 Earthbound games remade and sold at retail, but that's just my guess. Either way, we'll find out soon enough. Now with this new announcement, there may be hope after all. And if you have an opinion on what this project may be, please feel free to leave a comment below. So thanks for watching.